The art of ancient Greece and Rome. Alright, hello everyone. I am Martin Stan. Looks like Stan. Okay, anyway. In the next few minutes I will be how does it say? Oh, talking, okay, thank you. Okay, talking about the art in the ancient times of Greece and Rome. There will be 2 chapters. Chapter 1, Greece. Chapter 2, Rome. Greek literature was divided into well-defined literary genres, each one of them having a compulsory formal structure about both dialect and metrics. The first division was between prose and poetry. Within poetry, there were 3 supergenres: epic, lyric, and drama. Prose literature can largely be said to begin with Herodotus, a great historian that wrote the histories. Over time, several genres of prose literature developed, but the distinctions between them were frequently blurred. At the beginning of Greek literature stand the 2 monumental works of Homer, the Iliad and the Odyssey. The Iliad is a narrative of a single episode spanning over the course of a 10-day period from near the end of the 10 years of the Trojan War. It centers the person of Achilles, who embodied the Greek heroic ideal. The Odyssey is an account of the adventures of Odysseus, one of the warriors at Troy. After 10 years fighting the war, he spends another 10 years sailing back home to his wife and family. Penelope was considered the ideal female. Homer depicted her as the ideal female based on her commitment, modesty, purity, and respect during her marriage with Odysseus. Euclid, mathematician, considered the father of geometry, and Archimedes, mathematician, physicist, engineer, astronomer, and inventor, regarded as one of the leading scientists in classical antiquity, are amongst the most important scientific figures of all time, and much that was written by them has been reserved. The sculpture of ancient Greece is the main surviving type of fine ancient Greek art, while the most commonly used materials were marble and bronze. There are countless masterpieces of ancient Greek art scattered in museums around the world, works of unparalleled beauty, precious monuments of the world's rich heritage that still mesmerize viewers and will continue to do so in the generations to come. The golden mask of Agamemnon was found covering the face of a body in a burial shaft, and due to the splendor of the glittering gold mask, it is thought to have belonged to the legendary king Agamemnon. Many believe that the mask provides a glimpse at the face of the Greek leader, who fought during the Trojan War, as mentioned in Homer's Iliad, and who tradition says was buried in Mycenae. However, many analysis of the mask has shown that it actually dates to about 1550 to 1500 BC, some 300 years before Agamemnon. Exhibited at the Louvre Museum, the Venus de Milo, or Aphrodite of Milos, is known around the world for her beauty. The marble sculpture, likely created by Alexandros of Antioch during the late 2nd century BC, is admired for its artistry and delicate details, especially in the hair, fabric, and gorgeous facial features. Ooh la la. Other great sculptures include Phidias. The statue of Zeus of Olympia was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. We also have Praxiteles of Athens, was the most renowned of the Attica sculptures of the 4th century BC. He was the first to sculpt the nude female form in a life-size okay. And Myron of Eliathere, who worked almost exclusively in bronze, and his fame rested principally upon his representations of athletes, including his iconic Discobolos. Roman painting provides a wide variety of themes: animals, still life, scenes from everyday life, portraits, and some mythological subjects. Sometimes it evoked the pleasures of the countryside and represented scenes of shepherds, herds, rustic temples, rural mountainous landscapes, and country houses. The Romans did not invent the art of painting, and most of their finer techniques can be attributed to ancient Greece. However, there are some artists who stand out. One of them is Nadia, a female painter whose art usually centered around women, and their most famous paintings were those of an old woman and a self-portrait. Aurelius was an exclusive painter of well-known Roman figures, and although he was held in high esteem, he was also criticized for his paintings by some. One of these critics reproached Aurelius for incorporating the features of the woman he loved into the faces of the goddesses he painted. The main innovation of Roman painting compared to Greek art was the development of landscapes, in particular incorporating techniques of perspective, through true mathematical perspective developed 1,500 years later. Some landscapes were pure scenes of nature, particularly gardens with flowers and trees, while others were architectural vistas depicting urban buildings or represented episodes from mythology. Most of the portraits in ancient Rome were attached to burial mummies at the face, from which almost all have now been detached. They usually depict a single person, showing the head and upper chest, viewed frontally. The background is always monochrome, sometimes with decorative elements, and the portraits are remarkably realistic. Triumphal paintings were paintings which showed triumphal entries after military victories, represented episodes from the war, and conquered regions and the cities. These paintings have disappeared, but they likely influenced the composition of the historical reliefs carved on military sarcophagi and Trajan's column. It was in the idea of architecture that Roman art produced its greatest innovations. Because the Roman Empire extended over so great of an area and included so many urbanized areas, Roman engineers developed methods for city building on a grand scale, including the use of concrete. Massive buildings like the Pantheon and the Colosseum could never have been constructed with previous materials and methods. Roman architecture is legendary for the durability of its construction, with many buildings still standing and some still in use. Vitruvius was a Roman architect, engineer, and author of De Architectura, which was considered a handbook for Roman architects. De Architectura is divided into 10 books dealing with city plannings and architecture in general, building materials, temple construction, and many others. Vitruvius's wish was to preserve the classical tradition in the design of temples and public buildings.
What do you prefer between the Iliad and the Odyssey?
I actually can take them apart, maybe because I'm a history teacher. I like very much Iliad because it's like about the Troy War, But the other one, I see it more in an emotional way, how the Ulysses was traveling back to Ithaca, and I see it as something more emotional. Historical, I prefer the first one, but for my soul, the second one.
Okay, thank you. Why did they invent the Greek language?
Well, I don't know exactly why, when or how they invented the Greek language, because I don't think it's a matter of being invented rather than, I think the Greek language, as every other language or as many other languages, evolved over a period of time rather than being invented in a specific moment.
Okay, so it's not like how Tolkien did with his other shop.
Yeah, no, but the ancient Greeks were credited with the development of cultural and literature, because the Greek language provided a medium for expressing complex and profound ideas through works of, let's say, Aristotle, Plato, and Homer.
Have you ever believed in gods?
I think every one of us at some point in our time believed in some entity beyond our world, especially when we were kids, but let's say I did when I was much more naive than I am now.
So today people don't believe in the Greek gods anymore. They are no longer considered real by society. Does that mean they died? The immortal gods, they're dead now?
Well, I think the Greek gods, through definition, were immortal, so they can die like mortal beings do, because it's a matter of mythology, and the gods' existence or non-existence, it's rather a matter of belief rather than a tangible reality. So you can't really say that something which didn't have an actual existence in the first place could eventually die. So yeah, but yeah, the Greek culture and mythology lost its prominence due to the fact that the society transformed and adopted a new belief system.
So what would you choose between the Odyssey or Iliad?
Odyssey.
Thank you. So, what do you prefer between the Iliad and Odyssey?
I prefer Iliad.
Thank you. So, what do you choose between the Odyssey and Iliad?
The Odyssey.
What do you choose between the Odyssey and Iliad?
I think I will choose Iliad this time. I like very much the Odyssey, the story of Ulysses, but for me the perspective of being so smart to have a strategy, to really think about as a group and to have a strategy for being able to conquer the Troya. I remember it gave me as a teenager a new way of seeing things.
So, what do you choose between the Iliad and Odyssey?
I prefer the Odyssey because there are more characters in it.
What do you choose between the Iliad and Odyssey?
Iliad.
That is a very marvelous answer, but maybe this will change your mind. this even. Thank you. Good answer, good choice.